I am remotely connected to my Raspberry Pi. So here's my Raspberry Pi desktop with a folder named email counter on it, which contains the main program that we have to run. So as it reads the email from your inbox, what you have to do is open the grids.py file here, and you can edit use your email address and password in there so that the program can successfully log in to your email account to read the emails and get the unread count. Other than that, we have another file named unreadoffset.txt, as we discussed earlier. So there should be an unread offset that should be easily definable somewhere. So here you can open this file. I have set it to 31. So in my case, 31 is the offset, which it will like calculate based on 31 and subtract that from the incoming emails and will give you an count accordingly. You can change that, but please make sure that you don't put a new line or anything else other than a number, maybe a multi-digit or single digit number. So there is no new line, nothing else, just a number. You can just save it. The main program here is email counter.py, which you can double click on. So once we have double clicked the file, here we have Thony Python IDE, no terminal stuff at all. So it takes everything in account which is discussed in your requirements. By the way, at the end of this file, you can see there is a function stating 60. So it's 60 seconds, which is 1 minute of frequency, after which it will check the new email. We can change it to any number in seconds. So for the test, I am changing that to 5 seconds just to make sure that everything is working. You can change that to 60. I will make it default as 60. So when we click on run button, just ignore the warning message here. It started reading the email count to my email address. So you can see that and actually it maps the email count to the servo angles. So we have like 0 to 90 mapped to 0 to 180 angles. So 0 to 90 emails are mapped to 0 to 180 degree of angles. So here we can see that unread email count is 1. Okay, let's move to an email inbox. So let's create a new email. ABC and send it to my email address. So it's being sent. Let's wait for the 5 seconds so that so unread email count is 2 now, and the servo angle, which is correctly mapped to that whole thing, is moving, and it's moved. So one more thing, so whenever I open that email, it will subtract that from the unread email count. So it's like two-way program which will handle everything regarding the. So let's wait for the update. So unread email counts is now again goes to 1, and the servo angles goes back to 2, which is correctly mapped. So that's how it's working. We can stop that. One more important thing is the servo is the functions related to servo are defined in servo controller.py file. So we can double click on that, and Thony Python IDE will open that. So it's connected to pin number 12, which I will share with you a circuit diagram for that. So what happens a few times that depending on the servo, which servo you have, there is a recommendation that you always use external power supply or battery to power your server. Don't use Raspberry Pi to power your server. You can just connect the GPIO pin of your server to the Raspberry Pi in order to make it move. But you should power it from external power source, whether it's a small server or a big one. So here is the pin number 12, which is defined. So in certain cases servers don't move. For that, what I suggest is, uh, you can change this thing, which is 100, so it's a frequency in kilohertz. You can, if your server is not moving or moving very slow, or like if it's moving but not as expected, you can start from 50 and you can increase that up to 1000. But you have to check the number which is most suitable for your server. In my case, I am using MG90S, or I think so. It's a small server, and the correct frequency for that is 100. So that's an important thing to consider. So one last important thing is, whenever you have to set up your email to get the email count, so you just need to add your password and the email address in credits.py file, and after doing that you just log into your email account, go to google.com in the next tab, and search for Google Secure Apps, and then open the first link mentioned there. So it will open something like this. What you have to do is to allow less secure apps. You have to turn on this checkbox, so it will get blue and you will see on here. Once you have done that, you can run the program.